Florida's governor and surgeon general are doubling down on statements first made Monday that some people who are getting testing for COVID-19 shouldn't have to. The state could also open up new treatment sites as soon as tomorrow or even Thursday. WESH 2 News reporter Greg Fox is live outside Orlando Regional Medical Center right now. And Greg, one reason for the suggested pullback in testing is fewer hospitalizations, right?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons given by the governor. In fact, at hospitals like ORMC and around the state, 5,700 COVID cases, hospitalizations, but that number is more than 60% lower than the peak that we saw in late August. But remember, that could change as cases quickly rise. Lines outside COVID-19 testing sites have people waiting for hours to be tested. Some have symptoms, but others are doing it because their job requires it.
Yeah, because I have to get tested before going into my job as well.
Or they got that dreaded call from a friend or family member.
We had contact with someone who tested positive.
The governor and state surgeon general think people should not feel obligated to be tested.
A lot of those tests are not a good use of testing. Testing really needs to be focused on the people that have clinical symptoms. So you have people that are symptomatic, and they may not have as good access because you have so many other tests being used in ways which really aren't a good use of resources.
In short, the governor and Florida Surgeon General only want people who have symptoms to get tested and, if positive, to get treatment. They don't want businesses to require testing for customers or workers.
And it's time to say bye-bye to that other model, and let's go back to people making sort of voluntary decisions, living their lives, pursuing what they want, and not sort of defining everything that they do around whether or not a test is positive or something else like that.
The CDC, which has gotten mixed reactions to shortening the isolation period for COVID-positive people from 10 to 5 days, is also revisiting the need for testing.
They have certainly received feedback and questions about the role of testing in shortening that quarantine period, and they're actually working right now on issuing a clarification on that. I would expect that any day now.
The governor announced he hopes to receive more antibody treatments to reopen sites in Central Florida and around the state. He's also hoping to secure in-home test kits, which will be first distributed to long-term care centers. And the head of the Florida Hospital Association says there is real concern about the growing number of COVID-19 cases filling more and more hospital beds. We'll talk with her, all new at 6. Live in downtown Orlando, Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.